hit on Drake Maye before we get into the offensive line. He goes 4 for 7, 46 yards, as you see on screen, 77.1 passer rating. A couple high throws, the one to Mac Hollins that he's able to haul in, but then another unfortunate one kind of sprays it high to Pop Douglas, and it's nearly intercepted after the tip. He also got called for a delay of game penalty. I couldn't really tell whose fault that was. It'll be interesting to kind of take a look at it after when we watch the film and see what happened there. But overall, I didn't think, after having 2 pretty good days, at least from what I saw from the reporting out there in Minnesota, I thought this was pretty subpar from Drake Maye. Now, he only played 2 drives. He didn't get a chance to really, take the cobwebs off and get entrenched in the game, if you will. But I don't like those misses from him. I think that's something where if you see a wide open Mac Hollins, who's a big body in itself, put it on the numbers. And then same with Pop Douglas. Looked like there could have been a little miscommunication. He thought Pop might have been going a little bit deeper, what have you. But what did you make of Drake Maye's performance after a good 2 days in Minnesota?
It was very brief, so I don't want to raise any alarm bells or anything, but I was disappointed because that high throw to Mac Hollins, that's dangerous. It's something in the water. We saw a few of those high throws over the middle from the quarterbacks, but if it's a robber coverage and there's a safety coming down, you need to give Mac Hollins a ball where he can protect himself. And if he's going up like that, that's a chance for him to take a big shot. The DeMario Douglas one, I might give him a little more grace for that after watching it again. It does look like Pop was trying to settle into the zone, which maybe he was supposed to do. And Drake, it's so hard to know on those. I hope somebody asked him just what exactly happened on that play from his perspective. Yeah. The delay of game, though, is tough. That was maybe the most disappointing play for me because, one, the quarterback, more often than not, is responsible for making sure the operation is happening on time. Right. Now, maybe the film will tell us that something went wrong and it was outside of his control. But after last week, when we talked about the end of half situation before they went to Minnesota and Mike Vrabel pointing around at play clocks, being like, you need to be aware of what's going on, that makes it a little more concerning for me because this is a second-year quarterback who needs to be more consistent in the operation. You can't – this is last year where you're shooting yourself in the foot with completely unforced errors. So you got to be better than that. But at the same time, I do like the fact that he is at least better later in the game. He had the scramble. Nice adjustment by Mac Hollins to settle in along the sideline. Drake delivers a catchable ball. Didn't love that he took a hit on that scramble. Maybe I can watch it again and feel a little bit differently, but I thought he should have gotten rid of that ball to protect himself. Those are the things that they talked about where you don't need to take some of these hits. Let the ball go, live to fight another down. Again, maybe I'll feel differently upon further review, but it felt like there was more bad than good from Drake today because of the hit, because of the high misses or just the misses in general. But he also had a very short series, so I don't want to hold against him, especially because I've been saying it on the channel. He was very impressive in terms of not making a lot of just jaw-dropping, what are you doing mistakes against a very difficult Vikings defense that just functions in a way that you're almost never going to – I don't think he's going to see this defense for the rest of the season. And even Mike Vrabel gave him some credit. That first day, there were 1 or 2 turnover-worthy throws. He did have some pretty bad misses. One on a trick play to Efton Chisholm where Chisholm was wide open for a touchdown and he missed him. I think the misses are just going to be something you have to deal with throughout this season. Maybe next year, that could be something he hones in on even more. But really what impresses me most is the fact that he seems to be seeing the field well, not putting it in bad looks. So that's been my biggest takeaway from this week. On top of the fact that, you may make plays against him and he might make mistakes, but he has the poise to not let it affect him. And more often than not, he's finishing practices or games on a high note. So credit to him there, but you got to be better in terms of game operation, and you got to be more consistent with your accuracy to the best of your ability.
And that's the one thing, him ending practices on a high note and him bouncing back from having, tough starts to practice. Sometimes I'm like, all right, well, we'll just stop having the tough starts and just get your shit together and, put it on his numbers and knock. Yeah, right. Knock it off. But it is encouraging. And so a day like today where he starts and I don't know if it's the jitters, I don't know if he's not warm yet, whatever it is, whatever the reason is for him, whether it's footwork to miss Hollins and miss Douglas, those are the things where we see him improve throughout a practice. So if he had a full game to kind of get himself settled down, my guess is that he would have performed better throughout the majority of the contest and kind of got his shit together, right? But we're not able to see that, so it looks like a concern. But we'd obviously need a full kind of game of tape and decision making and throws to make a more more valid judgment, if you will, on Maye. So again, 4 of 7 for 46 yards, a couple misses, has the 77.1 passer rating.